wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if I could ever go without. Wanna know sugar? Yeah, what up, what up? My name is Scott Rutledge, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. It is 6:31. I'm sorry I'm a minute late. It is Thursday. It is July 14th. We are post-CPI, living in an inflation world. Don't you remember when this song was like on the radio and everyone was feeling happy? I feel like everyone's stressed out now. Take a deep breath and relax. Cycles happen. You can't always beat all-time highs in the S&P. You can't always beat all-time highs in your housing prices. You got to give other people that are younger than you a way in, a better average cost. And then we as experienced market participants have to know that. You just got to, know your time frame, know your role. Remember, know your role, and just deal with it. Okay, and put things in perspective. Anyway, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Who do we got? We got Fort Lauderdale in the house. We got ML Dad from let me put this up so you guys can see the chart from the Alpha team. We got Thirsty Thursday. Maybe today we'll do a little happy hour after the close. We'll see. I feel like everyone's in a bad mood. Everyone's a little edgy. Rightly so. It's been 15, 16 months that friggin', the high growth stocks have been coming 70, 80% off the highs. Everyone's been paying a little bit more for gas prices. Everyone's talking about recession. Some people can't get people to come work for them. Some people, just everyone's like a little upset. Flights are getting canceled. COVID's still around. So just think about this song for a second and take a little deep breath and just know that every day above ground is a good day. And if you're feeling healthy, you know what? All is well. Trickier times lead to better times. Who do we got there? We got D-Bird Budgeon, Nova Scotia, good to see you. Woodbridge, New Jersey, good to see you. Where's Max and Mike? You don't tune in anymore? Come on, Max and Mike. Where's Pinnell? I don't see anybody from Ukraine anymore. Do you believe that this friggin' war is still going on? These Russian bastards, and I have a lot of Russian friends, and they call themselves Russian bastards, are still trying to take parts of Ukraine and still kill innocent civilians everywhere. I don't even know how many days it's going on. Anyway, let's talk more about what's happening in the world. What's up, Mumbai? What up? You love the 6:30 Club? Love to hear it. Rothman is trying to get me the lacrosse team was posted for 2023, so ripples are going through the 2027 lacrosse world. Anyway, so what happened yesterday? The CPI came out, showed how hot inflation is still running. You wake up around the world, it's still running hot in Europe. Inflation is hot. When you have central banks giving out free money for over a decade, and then they pour it into the system because of a crazy pandemic that nobody saw coming, you know what? There's excess. And right now the markets are wringing out the excess everywhere, bringing in valuations. And right now what's happening is what the Fed wants to happen. They're slowing down the market so they could crush inflation, bring down prices. So what has to happen with that? The friggin' asset prices have to come down all across the world because they're a little overinflated. And then we see an equilibrium. And then we start a whole new, active sequence bull tape. The question is, where is it from? Like last month, I'm like, wake me up in August when we're at S&P 3400, or wake me up in October at S&P 3200, because those are two levels that we might see if, we break the recent lows from a few weeks ago. So every time we get these kind of bounces, they're somewhat profitable to trade, but then you're not getting a second or third move. Just as everyone pivots a little bit that we can go further, we roll over. So anyway, the 2s and the 10s are showing, ominous signs that the world is slowing, which we all know. You still have a strong dollar, which is killing the emerging tape. But yesterday, if you bought stocks in the first 3 minutes from 9:33 to 10 o'clock, you had awesome trading environment. You had Tesla go up 20 points from the lows. You had the SPYs, the Qs, Apple, AMD. But if you missed the first 30 minutes and at 10:30, you're like, I'm going to buy a pull-in, it was a choppy mess. So there are things to do if you actively trade for a living. You got to just be very specific in what you do. And hopefully if you put 3 to 5 things on your radar, a few of them work, and then just net money and be cool with it. If you're looking to make money longer term, if you're investing longer term, then I would just continue to put your monthly flows into an S&P fund. Don't try to be overly cute.
and over time the bull market will win. And if you putting a cash account to work, because you only like to get involved when markets are in turmoil or there's blood on the street, then like myself with my wife's account, I put 2 tiers in and I'm sitting half in cash waiting to see, are we in the 6th inning of this correction, or are we in the 7th inning, or are we in the 4th inning? we shall tell. You have a bad connection, Andy? What about anybody else? You have bad connections also? I hope not, because then I'm like talking to myself, and sometimes I talk to myself, but I usually just do that in the sauna. So anyway, what's happening right now? If you look, the futures are lower. The SPYs are down 371, so we're at 375. These are the SPYs. Okay, so the SPYs right now are below, or actually above 374.65. So that is your first point of reference. And then remember that 3-day floor back in early July, that's 372.56. So the question to me today, if you simplify it, is can you buy Versa level? Like yesterday, if you bought Versa level, you made money, but then nobody's in a rush to pay for higher prices. I feel like some shorts get squeezed, some people buy Versa levels, and then all of a sudden the volume peters out and nobody's in a rush. And that's pretty much what happened yesterday. We came off lows, came right into resistance, got rejected at the 8th day at 381.91, came back lower. So now we'll see, what type of tape do we have today? Is it viable again right here or not? So the Qs are showing a little relative strength. So let's look at the Qs. The Qs also, if you look right here, made a little bit of a higher low, a little bit. You have 269, 275, 280.05. But just like the SPYs, if you paid up thinking, oh my God, we're going to have this massive rally and you reclaim the moving averages and reclaim this prior high, you bought wrong. If you bought Versa low, you said, I'm going to buy Versa 5, 15, 30-minute low because I know where the market just discovered price, and put a stop in and took a trade along the way, hey, you made some money. If you tried to press there short, you probably got squeezed, and now you're waking up and you're pissed off because the futures are lower. So a lot of pissed off people out there. The trading environment is not, is not awesome. I'll tell you that much. So anyway, here's the Qs, 283.62. So it's above, yesterday's low. So we'll see what happens. What am I going to look at for clues? Well, Taiwan Semiconductor wasn't a bad report. Okay, I think it was better than feared. So we'll see, does Taiwan Semiconductor hold its early gains? Okay, Taiwan Semiconductor has been coming in for a while from 145, 139. It's been downtrending. Now it's opening above, this 81.79. So I'd look here. Does TSM hold its gains? Meaning, does anyone want to buy something that's up? Okay, and here it is. It's at 82.50 above these moving averages. Does it stay above that? That's one thing to look at for today. Another thing to look out for today is AMD. AMD has not been special for months. It's given you so many sell signals. Like I've, came across so many times. Sell signal 1 right here was a blaring sell signal. That was before the market rolled over. That was back in March, and then all the way to new lows. So what's happening now? Okay, well, you have Micron that came out with a bad report and they bought it. So that's what happened here. That gave you this reversal in AMD. And now, we're sitting here, in this lower area where, remember this sell signal here, you have this gap that was never filled. So it's been in a bearish active sequence to the downside. Okay, and I'm sure no one's been caught in it. You're just trading it. So today it was upgraded. Okay, so that's why in a sea of red, AMD is upgraded. So the question is, does AMD hold, up 70 cents? Okay, it's below yesterday's high. We got yesterday's high is 79.11. 79.11 is right here. So again, just like yesterday, people are buying things versus lows, but the question is, nobody's in a rush to pay higher, especially in their head. They're like, hey, this can go on for a month to 3 months, so what the hell am I paying higher for something when it's probably going to be lower? So I'd see if the semis hold up, because they've been trying to hold up a little bit better with tech. You know what else has been really good? The bios have been really good. XPI, ever since the lows that were put in right here, in the markets in June, where you had the divergence in the XPI, all of a sudden the XPI has been something you could buy on dips. So that's something to do. Okay, today it's 6:40. JP Morgan's coming out today. JP Morgan's coming out with numbers today. Okay, I remember back in January, everyone in the world said, you have to be in the banks, rates are going up. JP Morgan's going to 200, man. This is the best thing in the world. Which that's the analyst on Tesla, or or the Apple, it's a super cycle, man. Anyway, don't listen to the analysts. But with that said, that was here at JP Morgan at 169. So now it's down to a stone throw away from 109. So the question is, there's been no IPOs, there's been no really venture capital going on. Volume hasn't been great. So it's hard to tell, why would JP Morgan go up? But I guess we'll see. Because I had to come up with a strategy for my friends at TrendSpider, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is less than feared. I could put on a call spread. I actually did a 114 by 118 call spread, cost me $1. So I'm like, you know what? 114 by 118. If JP Morgan wants to be better than feared and then want to confuse everyone, maybe there's a play. It cost me $1 to make 3, risk reward. If not, and it breaks 109 because the report is that bad and it should be coming out soon, then you got to go to the weekly chart because the weekly chart is showing you that, hey, perhaps it fills this gap down to 105. But look how the trend's been below the 821 this entire time. I have not been in the bank in a while. So I'm like, you know what? I could do it. Golden Cross will show when the market's at true bottom. That's true. Same way you have a death cross. Usually that means that things are that weak and it's going to continue to the downside. When you have a golden cross, that means there's accumulation, and we haven't seen that anywhere. So we're still just trying to take trades. And yesterday, although Tesla hasn't been acting special for multiple months, even since last quarter, yesterday, right here, I was like, hey, didn't we say that if we reclaim 681 and 685, it could relieve pressure? So not saying Tesla is a Tesla of old, but yesterday a lot of guys on the Alpha team made good money in Tesla. Why'd they do that? Because, that's the weekly chart. First of all, different time frames. Look how this was actually the micro, this was the macro. The macro showing you 3 lower highs, a break at 974, a bear flag, and if the S&P is going to test the lows of the year or make new lows, why wouldn't we see 514? So that's the macro, that's the weekly. So people are like, okay, finally invest in Tesla. I'm like, you might as well wait a little bit, or if you're going to do a little bit here, just know it can go lower. But on the micro, there was an awesome trade yesterday. Awesome. Why? Because the strategy was, can we reclaim 681 or 685? So if you look really close yesterday, Tesla reclaimed 681 by pivot number 1, reclaimed 685, and went as high as 726. So as an active trader that trades for a living, yesterday could have been an awesome day in Tesla because it went from red to green, reclaimed pivots, you had a point to trade against, and it gave you some follow through. And when the SPYs came down and made a higher low, somewhere in the first 30 minutes, Tesla was showing relative strength and gave you an additional move. And then in the afternoon, it just floundered around and did a whole lot of nothing. So for today, with the futures down, why not look at Tesla one more time for cash flow? Okay, let's see. SPYs are down 390. Okay, about 50 cents off yesterday's lows. And Tesla is, you guys want to get it to me before I do it? Tesla is at only down 7. It's 704. So it's above 685. It's within the range. You probably have an inside day. So maybe Tesla, if all of a sudden the SPYs go lower, Tesla doesn't go down, puts a low in at 700, go up to 702, you buy it versus 700, and then if it tries to go green, you make a little bit of money, but don't pay higher. That's how you ruin your average cost. Take your trade. If all of a sudden the market tries to bounce and Tesla doesn't show any life, then hey, maybe it means there's no relative strength today, and boom, you stay out of the way, and then it just stays in the range. But that's how some guys are looking at different time frames. This is your active time frame where you have a channel going sideways and it hasn't really figured out that it wants to go back down through the lows of 620. But then again, you have the weekly that's saying, hey, you better be careful here because everything is getting to the 200-day or breaking the 200-day, just like a lot of the FANG names. Like here's the 200-day on the weekly on Tesla. Look where the 200-day is on Amazon. Amazon broke the 200-day, came back and retested. It's another question in everyone's mind is like Amazon's going to come out with numbers. And Amazon's quarter is probably not going to be good. The retail is going to suck, and hopefully AWS hasn't slowed down that much. But if it did, is Amazon going to break 101 and see 8130? That's the question. Can some of these things make lower lows? Like Microsoft spooked some investors in the last few days, because Microsoft all of a sudden looks like it's a stone throw away from, this is Amazon, by the way. Look at this choppy mess. But yesterday there was a trade in Amazon, by the way. Yesterday it started off red, okay, and then took back Tuesday's low and gave you a nice little trade. But hey, look where it was rejected, into the moving averages. So again, there was a trade there, but that was it. Some guys are asking, what were we going to just show? This is Amazon. Oh, Microsoft. Look at this move in Microsoft. Broke 262, engulfed this entire range, and now it's in this lower range. So it's in this lower area. If Microsoft makes lower lows, it's going to show you that other things can make lower lows. Same way with some of those hyper growth names. Some people are like, hey, I thought ServiceNow put its bottom in. The stock's been in the downtrend since 707, put its low in 407, looked halfway decent, came into the downtrend line, and boom. Now the 407, 411 does. JP Morgan.
$2.76.
Let's see what JP Morgan does here. JP Morgan coming out.
On JP Morgan was $2.91.
JP Morgan missed. That's from my news guy, by the way.
So that's short.
Short. Let's see if it gets hit.
30.7 billion.
30.7 billion.
JP Morgan is also short of estimate.
So JP Morgan as of right now is missing. Let's see what it does here. So far it's not trading.
JP Morgan share dropping here now 110.30, down about $1.60.
All right, we'll revisit that. So again, if you're trading JP Morgan, what you should be looking at right now is 109.30. Does JP Morgan hold 109.30 or not? Right, exactly. ML Dad, first of all, he's awesome. He's on my alpha team, and it's been a very predatory tape. What do I mean by predatory tape? They try and take things a little bit lower to stop you out, get people short, and then they rally it a little bit higher, get shorts to cover, and then get people thinking they're going to miss a move higher, and then it rolls over. And the computers are being programmed very well. You programmers out there, you're doing a good job. So what does that mean for us traders out there that use our brains and not just computers? We got to give things a little bit more room, a little bit, and maybe take a little less size and give things a bigger picture type of scenario versus not. Either you have to be very micro, or you have to give things a little bit more room and just try and really not overtrade. Like yesterday, there was a really good trade yesterday. The first 30 minutes, we had a nice reflex rally, but then that was it. So, if you find like you're at the highs of your P&L most days at 9:50, what does that mean? Don't be trading so much at 10:30, or don't be trading through lunchtime. I actually leave every day at 11:30. I go home, I do a Peloton class, go in my sauna, sweat it out a little bit, think about how I, did in the morning, how did I react, what will I maybe be doing in the afternoon, and then I come back 2:30 refreshed, ready to trade the close and do my recap. JP Morgan breaking 108 to the downside. All right, so maybe you shorted it through 109.30 and said, hey, Red Dog said 109.30 is a good level. Let me short it through there. So maybe you shorted. Now it's got to get below and stay below. It's a very big sophisticated term. If you think something's going to make lower lows, it's got to get and stay below a pivot. So 109.30 is a pivot. In order for it to go to 107 or 106, it's got to get below and stay below 109.30. Okay, now if you want to go to the, the weekly chart, okay, now you say, where could it go? Hey, there's a gap to fill down to 105. Yes. And here's JP Morgan right there, 108. So I got to believe the SPYs right now are probably down 4.5 or so. Where are the SPYs? Down 474. You got to connect the dots. And now, are the SPYs at 374-ish? It seems like they probably will be, which is here's, oh, by the way, here's the macro. Okay, here is the weekly on the SPYs. 362 is the low of the year, then you have 340, 320. These are the two spots that I'm eyeing to put the other tiers of my wife's long-term blood in the street account. I already did it once right around 17% off the highs, and once at 23% off the highs. I pretty much caught this bottom, so I am not interested in putting any more long-term money to work anymore in her account unless we break 362 and we get down to 340 or 320. But that's a longer-term account. Trading-wise, we'll see. I actually bought some SPY puts yesterday just because I know that I'm not the best shorts, but I bought SPY puts for July 27th and for in August, just in case we wanted to go back down and test the lows. So I'm not so upset if all of a sudden it happens. So let's go to the daily one more time. So you go to the daily on the SPYs. Okay, so now in order to get to the lows, which is what? 362, first step is get below and stay below yesterday's low, which we are a little bit right now. Right now we're at 73.90. Okay, so it's right there. And then you have this 3-day support right around here. So below 374, you have 372.56. If we close below that, then now you're in no man's land. And all of a sudden, the question is, you need to see how fast and when could we see the lows. So right now, a break of this area and close below, then you have a void, which is what we call it, and pretty much not, nothing here, but obviously this is a point of reference right here at 370. But basically everyone's gonna be like, we got to test the lows. So what do? You don't buy right around here because you're in no man's land. So the way you make more money in a bear market is you buy only into compelling areas. So this way, if you're a little bit off, you're closer to where the compelling area is. So anyway, now for today, do we stay below 372 to 374? At this point, I'm very, very low risk. So the market's down, it's not upsetting me. It's great. Now I'll get to play levels and see how it's going. It's just every day doesn't mean we're closer to a change. We could be in this environment for a while. The Fed, right now the debate is, are they going to go a point or 75 basis points on July 27th? And then, what's going to happen with earnings like a JP Morgan? Is it priced in or not? And as of right now, doesn't seem like a miss is priced in. Okay, right now JP Morgan's down to 107. So it doesn't seem like it's priced in. That's why we don't take stock into earnings. If you're thinking it might get a better than feared bounce, you take options because risk is premium paid, etc. I am short the SPYs. I'm not short the SPYs. I'm in 370 puts for July 27th and for August 5th. So I will lose on the little try I did with JP Morgan call spread, but I'll be making money in my SPY puts. And back 15 months ago, I was in a portfolio approach when the SPYs were above the 21-day, when we were in a good market environment. I had 30 stocks on, and guys were high-fiving, and it's that. Now I have 2 or 3 little stocks on, and I'm just trying to play. I'm not sitting in Tesla, I'm not sitting in Apple, I'm not sitting in Microsoft, I'm not in, right now I'm tactical. As an active trader, when you're in a bear market, you stay tactical. What does tactical mean? High levels of cash. So this way you could test levels, make some money, and wait. Or you could short things. You could short bounces, and if you're a great bear and you're a great short, cool. A trader needs to be good at everything, or at least not just one style pony. I'd rather be out of the way during times of volatility and pick little spots to short and pick little spots that I think we can get some kind of bounce off of and net money and be out of the way until a time that's more conducive to my style. But anyway, it's 6:53. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if the SPYs stay below this area. Yes, somebody asked me about blue. It's just a little bio that looks pretty good. Okay. I think the at-the-money offering, which they needed to raise money for a new trial, I think is getting close to being over. So perhaps today gets above 546. So that's something. Some guys, we're looking at this NTLA, which is another little stock that's acting well. So there are a few little charts that, are above the 8-day, above the 21-day, going sideways. So you want to, if you need to gravitate towards some longs that are trying to work and the XBI has been better, those are some things you could do. If you're like the trend of the market's down, I don't even want to look at positive charts, I just want to short things that are breaking down, making lower lows, then that's a style as well. Or if you want to sit back and say, hey, this market environment's complicated, I think we're going to make new lows, but I'm not a good short, I'm just going to wait and I'm going to test compelling areas, you could do that too. There's something for everybody. So cheers to you, but the only way you're going to make money is if you're prepared. The only way you're going to make money is if you have confidence in your process, in your system, and you have to know your time frame. What time frame are you? There's so many time frames. And when you get into a bearish market or bear tape, okay, yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it can be painful, but when you get to the inflection point lows, wealth is made, okay? This will help your average cost for your retirement, for your kids' 529, and then if you happen to be able to be a trader, like I'm sitting with $10 million of buying power, and it's sitting there in cash, and I might have a few 100,000 working. Okay, I'm waiting to pounce, on my signal, so I could catch an active sequence, and it can make my month and quarter. But it's not quite here yet. Could I be sitting in $10 million short or more? Yeah, I guess I can, but it's just not the way I feel comfortable. That's not the way I'm wired. I could short a little things here and there, but not that way. But anyway, with that being said, I'll leave you last with Bitcoin. Some people are like, did you see that Celsius or whatever that is has declared bankruptcy? I'm like, wow, that kind of is crazy. So if you go to Bitcoin here, some guys are like, am I buying Bitcoin? I did try and trade Bitcoin a few times in this area, but to me, we've seen these bear market bounces in crypto, and it's not being sustained. I've been in almost 75% cash in crypto all the way since November back here, just like in trading the S&P, Apple, this, that. This is when it broke the 821 day at 63.5. Okay, I pretty much was out of the way during this entire downtrend. I did play this a bit. There wasn't much money to be made, and then it failed, and then it failed, and then it failed, and then it failed, and now for this to fail again, just like it's been, the first level here is just say 18.6. So for me, I did, have bids in from 20,000 down to 15,000. I caught a little bit of a bounce, but I took it. So now if you go to the weekly chart on Bitcoin, looking at this now looks a little bit more like a bear flag, where at some point, if the S&P is going to get down to 3,400 or below, or 3,200, whatever, obviously Bitcoin's proven it's not an inflation hedge. It's just an asset sector on steroids. So I would get big again. First of all, this is where I started my whole crypto life, back here. I didn't get it down there, here, and that was awesome. And it did give you great ways to trade technically. So I'm thinking that this will be the area where you want to put a lot of money to work in Bitcoin. It's just a matter of when and how it happens, and you could put good till cancel orders in there and not be in a rush. Anyway, I got to jump. Wow, 6:57. I got to go hang out with the Alpha team, put 40 charts over there, get the node ready for regular all access, and then get on the radio and trade, because today's going to be an interesting day. So don't be in a rush. Trust your process. Listen to your inner trading voice, and look at my book. I just put out a kind of trading mentality book. I've been putting out chapters every single day, not every day, every week, and I think it could help your psyche. Okay, the only way you could change your mindset is by doing things and accepting it in your mind. The only way you could think clearly is having your process, routine, and balance every day. So this way, you're thinking clearly, and you can execute on the little inner voice that's telling you what to do, which is your trading seed and your trading time. Now I got to really go. I appreciate you guys.